And we're live.
Hey,
Yo.
Happy Thanksgiving, boys.
happy Thursday, Sean.
Yeah, happy Thursday.
John, you didn't do anything Thanksgiving related this year?
Nope, stayed home. So Reese is actually gone. She's currently down there with
Okay.
her family, but I am on cat duty.
Bachelor life.
Well, yeah, because I stayed home mainly because I had gone out for the week before to go to LA for Indieland. So
Right.
this was essentially like we weren't sure if I was going to get sick from it, so we didn't want to chance anything. So I stayed home and didn't plan anything, just in case I stayed longer or anything came up.
Right on. I'm down in the remote studio. I'm down in Southern California. That's probably why I sound a little weird. I have the microphone on top of a pile of paper, on top of a box of paper, so that it's close enough to my mouth.
Nice.
I'm
the
just
paper's
hoping it
good.
doesn't fall and collapse on me as I
Good, good.
have this chair as low as it possibly can be.
Nice.
How about you, Paul? What's going on with you?
Nothing new.
Nothing? Okay. All right. Anything going on in the last week for you, John?
Not really, no. Like I said, we already talked about Anyland last week, so I'm just chilling. I'm home.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
I get to relax, nice and quiet.
Cool. Well, then, yeah, let's just get right into it. Quick and easy, top-down perspective for November 24th, Thanksgiving edition, if you're in the States. Happy Thanksgiving to anyone who cares. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
John Wheeler.
And I think we got to talk about the biggest game this week.
Okay.
Pokemon.
Yeah, let's do that.
Everyone's playing Pokemon. Like, everyone is playing Pokemon. Biggest
lot of
Pokemon
people.
release ever. Did you read that?
I did
Biggest
read that.
launch period, yeah. 10 million copies sold in 3 days or something bonkers like that.
Yep. So, John, it looks like you're not playing.
My copy didn't show up till Tuesday, and then when I got on stream, I said, "Hey guys, do you want me to stream starting Pokemon?" And they said no.
Yeah.
So
have you
yeah,
been
it's
following any of the like?
oh dude, the
performance
the
stuff?
the glitches are actually what are making me excited to play the game. Like I'm like pumped because of that.
Well, how's your time with it been?
So I haven't played a Pokemon game since I think XY. So in that regard, a lot of changes, and it's fun enough. That thing is a piece of shit though. Like that thing is not worth the money they're asking for it. It is so poorly done. It's insane. I can't remember the last time I've seen such a broken game. Holy shit.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty outstanding. Just
Yeah.
how in this game is. It's also like it's a first-party Nintendo game, so that kind of adds to that. We just don't really see this from Nintendo games so much, and it is
It's
this
insane.
game when you're playing it, it looks and it runs like it is in pain at all times.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
You're watching a cutscene and it's just like nothing that I am seeing visually looks like it is not trying to hold back a scream, like a guttural scream, because it does not want to be there. The shadows, they don't want to be there. They can barely stand still. The textures look like trash. The frame rate is some of the craziest frame rate I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
where
it's bad.
it's like the further away from you, the lower the frame rate gets. So you'll just see like people like walking at like 5 frames a second or just flickering in and out. Windmills, 2 frames a second. Did either of you watch the Digital Foundry breakdown of some of the issues?
No.
No.
I lost track of how many times they used the phrase laughable. I don't think I've ever seen Digital Foundry be that negative towards a game before.
It's really too bad because it's like technically one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life on like specifically Nintendo hardware with their name on it. But like it's kind of fun. Like it's kind of fun when like I'm just walking around and catching a Pokemon or two and doing a battle. Like the core game, there's enough there that I'm like, this is like, if I wasn't having any fun right now, I would definitely fight for my money back. But, like, I guess I'll just live with it, and we're all kind of in this together. We all know it's shit, but at least I'm having some good times with it.
What's like really crazy is like so you didn't play Arceus, Pokemon Legends
didn't.
Arceus, which is
I heard this
definitely
is
like
much
the
worse,
closest.
though.
This is much worse,
Okay.
and the Digital Foundry breakdown definitely compares it a lot to Arceus and how both of them perform.
Yeah.
Arceus blows it out of the water in literally every single category. It
See?
runs better, it looks better, it performs better, like everything.
I feel bad I got the bad one then from this year. That sucks. Like, that really sucks.
So I think it's hard to talk about this game without talking about Arceus because it is such a similar thing to it, but there are like key differences. Like there are no gym battles. There
Right.
are barely battles. Like you could play Arceus with just not battling stuff. It is more of a collecting game and like an exploring game, which that's kind of the craziest thing. If you go into like the ethos of what this kind of quote unquote new era of Pokemon is,
Mm-hmm.
it's open world like it's never been before.
Right.
It's trying to get you to want to go out and explore. It wants you to look along the vista and be like, hey, there's that Pokemon right over there. I'm gonna run over there and get it.
That part's great.
Pokemon's-
I'm liking that.
Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet can't do that.
Yeah, they
They
pop
want
in.
you to look out over the vista and see, hey, look at the Pokemon over there. But the hop-in is so terrible. You need to like get up there,
Yeah.
and sometimes the Pokemon like flickers in and out, so you're not even like really sure what it is. Like it actively is shooting itself in the foot because it wants you to explore by design, but it is a game that cannot perform what it is trying to do. So it is pushing back on you at every turn.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, for sure. Like, when you get your bike or whatever, once you kind of finish the exposition dump that the beginning is, and the world becomes fully open and you're rolling around, I swear to God, sometimes I just get thrown into a battle I didn't want because the Pokemon spawned in as I was running by. Like, yeah.
I will say I have run into some Pokemon because they were so tiny, and I really like that because that's
fine.
exactly how it should work.
Yeah.
The first time that happened to me, it was with a Smoliv, and that is the cutest thing I've seen in a very long time.
Sure. It's always for me the pommies, the mice in the starting area. Like, just never see them in the grass. But like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That's fine. There have been ones where, like, oh, that Pokemon basically spawned on me.
Or I'll be doing like a battle, and it's like it's trying to do some animation because I just won, but the camera like went into the floor. Half my screen is just blue, and it's like, oh my god, what is it? Like this game is literally on fire at all times.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer because I like if you take the skeleton a bit, I agree with you. You mentioned this. It is fun. It is a fun game. What the loop they have built there is fun, and I want to do more of it. And this game has that Arceus did not have is you can kind of go anywhere, and there's like 3 different main paths you can do. Like you have so many options, and that's super cool.
Yeah.
Because Arceus, you could go anywhere, but in terms of like your main goal, like there was like side quests, but there was one main quest. This has like 3 main quests.
Yeah.
Which is very cool, and you can mix and match. So like the bones, they're strong, but this game just pushes back on me. Like I'm like, all right, let's play some Pokemon. And then it's like, oh right, I have to like play this game. I don't know if I want to. That bums me out.
Sure. Yeah. Apparently it gets worse than what I've even been seeing. Like, I've seen some of my friends. This isn't even like a Twitter thing anymore because I haven't really been using socials too much. This is like things I've seen from people I know posting their things, like their videos or whatever, of their Pokemon's just like falling forever in the sky and shit like that. I haven't had that yet.
I haven't had that one either. I'm hoping for a patch, like desperately. It's been a long. I don't think I've hoped for a patch this hard in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty phenomenal. And what's crazy is if you like look, this is the 3rd mainline Pokemon game they have put out in 12 months.
What was the other one I can't think of right now?
The Diamond and Pearl remake came out last fall.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Which is if you think of typical Pokemon timelines, 3 mainline Pokemon games would generally take about 5 years to get
Right.
all 3 of them out. This is 12 months, which is pretty crazy. Digital Foundry kind of did some speculation. They looked at a lot of like the designers in the credits on Arceus and Scarlet and Violet, and there's a lot of overlap. So they're thinking there was just not enough time for this one. Like they had to like clearly. I mean, obviously there was not enough time for this one. I think it's because there was just too much game they had to make twice, basically. So, yeah. I mean, I don't really know. It's weird. People are also mentioning in the chat, like, it's probably hard to delay a Pokemon game because, the show relies on the new one coming out, and then the trading cards rely on the new Pokemon coming out. So if you, like, delay one thing, you delay the largest franchise of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Okay. So, yes, the negativity is there. I'm definitely in there as well with everyone. But again, it's kind of magical just like walking around an open world and seeing a Pokemon going and like grabbing it or whatever. Auto battle is phenomenal. That's a great addition.
That's a new one that was not in Arceus.
Yeah, so that's good. The idea that you have kind of different like trainers, if you will, like different objectives around the map, and they do different things for you. Like one of those series or whatever powers up your like legendary bike Pokemon or whatever that you get and like gives them new abilities. The other ones are just like standard progression and beating Team Star or whatever. Like I like that there's a few different paths you can do, and they're just kind of scattered everywhere, and they kind of tell you this is where things are, but like just do whatever you want. Like they give you the breadcrumb trails to do stuff, but it's really up to you to choose what you want to do at the time.
Right, and very like Breath of the Wild style. You're heading towards one objective, and there's like 20 things kind of off to the side that you're just going to get distracted with, and that's one of the really nice things. There's over 1,000 Pokemon now.
Yeah,
it's like every 5 feet. Oh, here's a different Pokemon. Well, I'm going to want to catch this one.
Yep.
So that's cool too. For those who don't know, kind of the 3 main quests, you have 8 gyms you can go about.
Yeah.
And again, Breath of the Wild style, they're kind of gated by, if you go into this area, there's going to be stronger Pokemon. So if you don't have a strong enough team, you probably don't want to be in this area yet. So that's how you can kind of determine where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is, there's these like legendary They're not legendary. They're like special Pokemon. Like Paul said, gives you more
Titans.
Moves.
That's what they're called, or
Titans,
something.
That's what they're called. Yeah. And that's what Arceus was going after Titans and stuff.
Okay.
And then there's like the plot, which is you're fighting the evil team, which is Team Star in this, which I will say, that Team Star grunt pedal song is so good. Holy smokes. That was all. I loved that one. The first time I ran into them and that song was playing, that is such a great song. Yeah, I'm with you. Like I'm having fun, which is why the depression is so like the disappointment is so much stronger, because it's like I know what this could be. I've played the better version of this, and this is the like super version of that one, or it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah. I have yet to try dumping the ROM onto my PC and seeing if that fixes any of my weird issues, but I have been told that it probably will not, because a lot of it is like how the game was made and not actual just system limitations for this one. So who knows?
That's interesting. Yeah, I haven't actually seen anyone talking about that, and I feel like if it did solve the problem, I would have seen like people on Twitter just saying, do this.
Totally.
Put it on your Steam Deck or whatever.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Maybe this weekend, so maybe next week I'll be able to have some insight into that if I actually get unlazy and do that. But yeah.
And you think you're gonna play it, or like just to see it, or has the negativity kind of turned you off?
Are you saying it to me? Because I said like the glitches made me want to play it a ton.
Yeah, no, this got John excited to play it.
Yeah. The opposite effect. I just opened my copy just then, like on stream. So
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
I got the cards right there.
Oh, I mean, have fun. Like, hopefully you like the glitches, I guess.
No.
What else have you been playing, Paul?
Just trying to get through God of War, man. That game has the problem of when I get home from work, I have maybe like an hour and a half worth of time to just like sit down and play some games before I have to go to bed or whatever. So I don't want to play that after work because I know I'm going to get to a cool thing and I'm going to want to stay up for 4 hours to get through that set piece because breaking up a cool set piece in God of War feels like sacrilegious in its own way. But I've been just kind of poking at that when I can still.
Chose not to bring the PS5 down because that thing does not travel well, so I'm missing playing God of War.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're like visiting and stuff, it's kind of, I think, probably hard to just be like, I'm just going to leave for 5 hours and like play a video game.
I mean, I'm down here all week, so I have plenty of like
Okay, fair
time
enough.
to myself as well. Yeah, so like I've been playing games. It's not a big deal.
Sure.
John,
Yo,
tell us about. I've never heard of Astlibra.
Astlibra. So, for Paul's reference, he's the one who recommended this game to me.
Yes.
It works on the Steam Deck now. They patched it.
Cool. This seems like a good Steam Deck game because there is a lot of grindiness in it.
Yeah, so I only played the demo, which is like, I don't know, like 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
But like it seems like does every piece of weapon and every piece of armor have like its own level up so you can learn skills and stuff? Like that's wild.
I
It's
think
that
so.
detailed.
Yeah, and then you add on the like magic system on top of that and the combo systems on top of that. Like the combat in that game, that demo makes you want that combat. That you don't get even like the basics of that combat for like a couple hours.
That's what I thought, because I'm like, the demo's starting at like level 31, so like this seems pretty far in.
Yeah. Like I think an hour and a half in is roughly when you get like your first like ability or whatever that you can add, like a flame ability or something. I can't remember, but it's the long con type game for sure.
Yeah, so this is apparently a port of a much older like PC game that it's a modern re-release. It's a hack and slash. Like you kind of just walk along a plane, but like you have all these different weapon types you can use, and like there'll be things like, oh, here's like a long sword that like lets you do like fast slashes. Here's like a dagger that goes extremely quick, but like the range sucks. It's like a balance between range, power, and like speed. And it's just you're fighting like giant monsters, and the monsters seem to just get more and more ridiculous the more that you see in it. But like, since it's a Japanese indie game, it's also not translated the best. So like the bit of dialogue in the demo was very English. I'm like, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
But it seems also very trippy, and I can't tell if that was because of the translation or if that was just literally how it is. Because it looked like it was like jumping through different timelines and stuff like that. I'm just like, this actually seems really interesting what they're showing. So
that story seems really basic and tropey at the beginning, so I haven't gone back to it for weeks now. The beginning is very much like protagonist has amnesia and Talking Bird is helping.
I think I played this.
Yeah, is helping them find their way. And you're doing like small quests to kind of like move along it because it's an RPG. Yeah, that game is all about that combat though. The hack and slash, and then like holding down a trigger to like put in a combo and push a button to also do magic attacks while you're hack and slashing and shit. It's insane, but again,
there are a lot of skills and abilities in that game. I just felt like, oh, cool, I can go. This move gives me invincibility, so I can do this, and then I can go into this, and then if I do this, it freezes time, and I can do this attack.
That's why I was like, I think you would find this interesting because, like, we've played a lot of games, and this is pretty different in how it handles that stuff. Yeah,
I liked it a lot. That might just be like my when I pop out the Steam Deck, play it for a little bit of game. Most of my time for gaming this week went towards finishing up Picross S8, so that's just done now, and also the game we're talking about for TDP Plus next week, which is Shovel Knight Dig. So I've been playing that as well. So
cool.
The only other thing I guess I could talk about is yesterday Arc System Works sponsored my stream, so I played DNF Duel and Guilty Gear Strive for the first times.
Yes, I was gonna watch some Strive, but I got caught up on stuff. I heard some really good things about Strive specifically.
Strive is pretty fun. Like the characters are wild and varied. Sadly, we were not allowed to watch story mode because story mode's like a 4.5 hour movie.
Oh.
With no gameplay. It literally is like literally it is a story. You watch this movie.
Okay. Cool.
Which I think is hilarious. The gameplay feels good and fluid. It's Guilty Gear basically. But as someone who hasn't played Guilty Gear since Double X, there was a learning curve for sure. I'm like, okay, my main character's still here, but she moves pretty different. I don't know how half these characters attack anymore. There's this weird wall stick mechanic, which is weird that I can't seem to get out of. And it's just like things to get used to, but it still seems like a solid fighting game. So,
who's your character?
May.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I played as her since Double X, and then when Strive came out, everyone was like, May's driving us nuts. She's really good. I'm just like, this would be the one game I stopped playing at, wouldn't it be? It would be the one I stopped playing. But no, that seemed fun. DNF Duel also seemed interesting too. It's a fighting game based off of Dungeon Fighters Online, I believe was the original game. Like the characters are straight up from that. Yep. The designs for the characters are super interesting. And it's very new player friendly because like all the supers and specials are mapped to just like button presses. Like, okay, press forward and like B and you'll do like your quarter circle forward fireball move and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's very approachable.
Isn't Street Fighter 6 doing something pretty similar where
Street Fighter 6 is doing something very similar, yeah.
Yep. I think this is the new way games are gonna go. If they want to open up to like bigger audiences than the hardcore market, this is the way it's probably gonna go.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, like, don't do that in the tournaments. But if you're just like you and your buddy on the couch, you're having a party or something, everyone wants to play, like let everyone play, right? Like if more people get to play, we all win.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Is DNF Duel kind of a meme game? Because I remember when it came out, some people I watch that like play fighting games a lot on Twitch are like, this is great, but like it's not going anywhere. It's kind of a meme.
A little bit because the characters are named things like Grappler.
Okay.
Like Berserker, like Ranger, like Gunslinger, stuff like that. Dragon Knight, like they're all like classes.
Because they're archetypes from
yeah.
But
the characters themselves apparently are from Dungeon Fighter Online. So like the designs literally are. And like, I don't know. Like the game seems fine, but apparently like they're just not doing anything with it. Like there's been like no proper patching for it. They didn't do rollback. It's just kind of in limbo. Like I think they basically put it out and they're like, we haven't committed to doing anything new because Nexon, I guess, hasn't said if they're going to do anything. And while it's an Arc System aiding game, like it's just nothing. So people are just kind of like, yeah, it's all right, but like they're not doing anything with it. So we're just going to ignore it and go back to Guilty Gear where they're doing stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I played.
Cool. Before my last game, you had mentioned Shovel Knight Dig, which reminded me I didn't do our housekeeping at the top, like I keep trying to remind myself. So for those who are interested, next week, our TDP Plus episode, we've obviously delayed it 1 week because of Thanksgiving and whatnot. We will be doing an episode all about Shovel Knight Dig, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Other things you guys should know about is the new poll for December is now live, so you can go vote on what we play at the end of the year, I guess, or what we talk about at the end of the year, I should say. And the last thing is, who knows how long Twitter is, but we're all on Hive, including the podcast. So if you're on Hive, if that ends up being the thing, you can find show updates and stuff for the podcast at TDP. I got just TDP, which
nice.
Makes sense.
That'll be pretty cool. I tried getting at Sean. No, not.
Yeah,
it was too popular, I guess. But so,
yep.
So yeah, if you guys are on Hive and you're done Twitter, search for at TDP so you can get show information. I'm still updating the Twitter because it's easy for me to do at the moment, and I'm hoping Hive gets easier but it's the mobile app is not great.
Yeah, I hate that app. I mean, I'm using it on the worst platform. Apparently, Android is absolutely fucking god awful. A lot of people are having the same issues I have with it.
It's not great on iOS, and
Yeah.
I saw some of the
Just
stuff you were
loading
complaining
weird.
about. Or just not loading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll get better.
And with that said, I mean, I understand it's literally 2 people are working on Hive.
Yeah, and I think it was like a project that they just did a couple years ago, and all of a sudden, like a few million people signed up over the last week. So I get it, but
I wonder
also,
why.
Yeah, I can't imagine why.
Okay, the other game I've been playing a whole bunch this week is Pentiment, and I'm happy to say I get it.
You got to the point where it clicked or whatever, why people were
Kind of clicked.
praising it?
I
Okay.
will say that game at the beginning is overwhelming. There's like 30 different characters.
Gotcha.
The map is huge. There's like 3 different maps. It is overwhelming. So my advice to you, if you're going to play Pentiment, is just don't even worry about it. Just go with the flow until the story hooks you, and then it won't even matter. You will be ingrained enough that you will understand it. And then one thing I don't know if the game pointed out to me, or if I just figured it out on my own that really helped, is when you have a specific thing to do, like if you need to investigate stuff, or if it's time to go like eat food, the map will update and tell you where you should be investigating and where you can go get your meal or where you can go to sleep for that time, as opposed to you just searching around like I was doing. So reference the map, especially reference the symbols on the map. That once I kind of clicked into that, then it was a lot more straightforward of like, okay, now I can kind of narrow down like the places I should be at, as opposed to just I have 60 buildings I can go into right now, and I don't know which is important or not.
Sure. Yeah.
But Pentiment, people ask, is this the Obsidian game? This is the Obsidian point and click adventure game that looks like sketches in a manuscript, old style from the 1500s. It's cool. I'm in the last third of the game. It's broken up into 3 acts. The characters, I really kind of got like a handle on who they were in the second act, and like it takes place over the course of like 25 years. So you like come back to the town after a period of time and you catch up with your friends again. It's cool, and I am like pretty hooked on it now. It's on Game Pass if you're into that. Otherwise, I think it's just $20 on like PC or outside of Game Pass. So I would highly recommend checking out Pentiment if you like point and click adventures or visual novels, basically.
How long would you say it took for the story to finally grab you? Because you were a couple hours in, I think, before, and it had.
Yeah, I had just kind of gotten to like so it's a murder mystery. I had gotten to like, oh, someone's been killed when we talked last time.
Yeah. Okay.
During that investigation, it was like, oh, I see how I'm supposed to be like connecting things. And that's when I realized on the map, oh, hang on, there are magnifying icons on like 3 of these houses. These are the places it's pointing me to, because I have like 8 side quests open, and like the menu is difficult too. So, like, it is overwhelming at start. So I think It takes about 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
Like I said, definitely kind of really look at that map and look for those icons, because I had either missed it or the game did not tell me it, but that really helped. And then just pro tip. You go in the options, there's a big head mode. It's a big head slider. You can make everyone's head huge, including all the animals on the map.
It's pretty good.
So why wouldn't you do that?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that game is Pentiment, and that's all I've been playing. No news came out, so let's just do a bunch of questions.
Sick.
Cool.
Topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter now, at TDP on Hive, maybe, Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box are all great ways to send questions in. Paul, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, we got episode titles. Was this
Nice.
I see his real name here. Was this Rasterman doing them now? I think
Is
it
it
was.
Rasterman or Dead? I can't quite remember.
I think it's maybe it's a collaboration between both of them.
It's a collaboration.
Yeah.
I feel bad that we don't know now. I'm gonna scroll through Discord.
I see who updated the document, but I don't want to say their real name. So thank you to that person. I do know who you are. I just don't remember which. I think it's Rasterman. I'm almost sure it's Rasterman.
It is Rasterman. It is.
All right, there we go. All right, so thank you for taking the torch from VGC Kenny and doing these. Let's start where we left off last time, September 15th, 2022. Thank you for your service. Oh, there's alternative titles, too.
Oh, man, we can't go through like 4 titles per episode. It's too much. I'm going to guess this is Stadia. I have no idea. That's my only guess.
September 15th.
Yeah.
9/11? Probably not.
I don't know. So, like, thank you for your service is a meme thing I do on my stream where we have a viewer named President Dog. So every time like they sub, I say, thank you for your service. But I don't think it was related to that. So I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
I don't know either, honestly. So, yes. Anyways, there are alternative titles here. I'll read them after. Apparently, he put both of them because he couldn't decide which one to use. I'm just going to take the first one, Rasterman, of each of these officially, but I'll read the other ones just for the lulls. Okay, thank you for your service. Context. VGC Kenny announcing they'll step down from doing episode names.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, we're total assholes for not even thinking of that.
Yeah, I feel really
it was
stupid.
The first one. Jeez.
I feel really stupid, especially since it says, and Paul's saying this on behalf of the podcast. Both hosts of the community. His alternative title was NES games. Who even wants to play NES games? And the context for that was about going to a yard sale and seeing stadium events and Mega Man X3 at like low prices.
Oh yeah, the question about like super rare games at like back when they were like cheap prices.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I think the question was like, are you obligated to tell the person?
Oh yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently this was specifically Sean saying this and then snapping them in like front of the person or something.
I think I said something like, you know, like I was playing the character of like, oh, look at these games. Who even wants these? I'll just take them off your hand. Yeah, something like that.
All right. September 22nd. At what point do I have to blend my sandwich down to a paste that I have to drink?
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I don't fully remember it. I think I said this. I think Paul and I were just getting into semantics about something, and I was just trying to find like the line. He was like, if it has this, it's this. If it has this, it's this. And I was like, okay, but what if you had like so much of this? You know, like I was trying to find
that we turned
line.
it to a, like, at what point do I have to blend my sandwich into a paste or whatever?
I think it was something like that.
Okay, yeah, probably. The context is, a question came up about longest gaming session. Sean was arguing about different stipulations that can make a session longer, such as eating.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
You remember
like
that,
how eating is a stipulation.
Because it was like, are you allowed to take breaks?
Right, for a gaming session.
If it's one gaming session. Well, I don't think John was there, so I'm curious, John.
No, this was when I was gone on my honeymoon, or my my anniversary trip.
Someone stops to take a meal. Is it still the same gaming session?
It depends on how long the break is.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, well, so I ask you, what is the line then?
Half hour or less.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you're going out to a restaurant to eat or something, it's like, your gaming session's done, man. Wait, unless it's a McDonald's, and maybe it isn't, because that's like 10 minutes.
If you're at a McDonald's that's taking 30 minutes, then what the hell's going on at McDonald's? It's like the busiest McDonald's in the world.
The McCrispy came out, and everybody's scrambling on their chairs or whatever the fuck.
Oh boy, the McCrispy.
The McCrispy, yeah. 29th of September.
I wouldn't be. I'm sure one of the episode titles coming up has to do with the McCrispy.
Yeah, I think so too. So keep that in mind. September 29th. I pushed him and his body was ruined. He morphed into a weird, horrific creature, and as far as I know, he's ruined forever.
What the fuck?
Oh my god, I love this title. Can you imagine? It's like, what's the title of your latest podcast? It's I pushed him and his body was ruined. He morphed into a weird, horrific creature, and as far as I know, he's ruined forever. Yeah, that's episode, like, 300 and whatever.
Did I say this?
What date was this? Was I even on this podcast?
September 29th. I hadn't started
wasn't
my
home yet.
Dead Space replays yet, so...
Oh, John, I think you were there because I probably would have asked if you guys. I remember asking both of you.
No,
Do you have
because I didn't get
Halloween
back till October 2nd. I'm still gone in Newfoundland at that
Oh.
point.
Oh wait, yeah, because the 30th I left. So I was on this one. I think I said this, but I have no idea why.
I don't know what this is either. I looked at the context, so now I do, but I was just giving you guys a second if you had anything. But it is Sean talking about the lovely yet weirdly dark game Beacon Pines and what you're prompted to do in it. Furthermore, the episode name was referring to a kid, ...
Nope, I remember this. I remember doing it.
All right, October 6th. The Calgary Challenge, everybody's favorite. Or alternatively, I love broken people. They are my favorite.
I'm in India here. This is not me. I
So
think
I
John's
am home
back,
for
though.
this one. Yeah, I'm definitely on this one. The Calgary
What's the
Challenge
Calgary
must be
Challenge?
related to the weather. It has to be the weather.
Yeah, what else would it... Well, I could think of a few things that I don't want to talk about on air, but yes, it's probably weather.
I think that was when we were getting like all the snow, so that has to be what the Calgary Challenge would be like. I think I was talking about Reese getting headaches.
Could be. I honestly don't know. The context is Canada was added to Microsoft Flight Simulator, including a set of challenges in various locations. Upon saying, as mentioned above, upon John saying this, Paul wondered if the real challenge was being able to save money after the landing fees. The alternative context...
Oh, right. It was work related for you.
The alternative question was a question came up of favorite iterations of different monsters, leading to apparently me saying this in reference to Bruce Banner not being able to control or kill himself as the Hulk. There you go. October 13th. I think if you don't save scum in those games, you're a psychopath. I know what the context for this is.
I wasn't home for this one.
I also was not home. This is you and Nathan.
This is me and Nathan. And Nathan was playing one of the Fire Emblem games that he was like, oh, these are going away on the Wii U shop, so I gotta buy everything that like I don't have. He went on this weird spree. And Fire Emblem was one of them. And he said something about how he thinks that if you don't save scum and you just let that person die, you're a psycho or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, context is... Nathan was talking about his tactic to save scum in Fire Emblem, the Blazing Blade, coming from XCOM and how he felt about it. Oh, apparently this was my take or this was Paul's take, taking into account story relevant characters. Oh, right, the difference between how, like, it sucks when you lose someone in XCOM, but it doesn't feel like you lost a protagonist in the same way that it does in Fire Emblem.
Yeah, because XCOM is just like a named soldier that like you build, whereas Fire Emblem, it's like a dude.
It's like Prince whatever from this land. Yeah.
Or it's like it's your daughter or something from the future.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. All right, October 27th. So Cards Against Humanity got you back in the States.
Yeah, so this is the Mumbai airport needed a confirmation of address, and the quickest thing I could find
was your Cards Against Humanity
the Target delivery from Clamonaise, the clam-flavored mayonnaise product that Cards Against Humanity put out while I was in India.
This is 100% it, yep. Context is Sean talking about his insane requirements to get home from the Indian airport, including proof of address that came in form of confirmation shipping notice from said game. John concluded the team behind it should get a message from this happenstance. He had an alternative title here that was put it out for everyone. You use my likeness. They don't pay me. I'm suing you. This is about a question about Fortnite or something.
It was Fortnite. Yeah, absolutely. It was about Fortnite.
All said that, yeah.
And yes, I just read the context now. That's exactly it. November 3rd. Oh, heck no, but also cool.
What?
I don't know.
Who would? This is impossible.
Yeah, it's too open, so I'm just going to give up right away.
Me too.
Again, I don't think I was on this one.
Okay. Context is at the beginning of the review. The beginning of a review from Ghost Detector Talks to Spirits as Sean read live during the show. Apparently, the game has a quite good rating from the Apple Store. Maybe there are some things humans aren't meant to know about. Yeah, the way the review started was, oh, heck no, but also cool.
Okay, yeah. To be fair, I remember that review was insane, but I can't remember anything I read, despite it being like 9 sentences long with no punctuation.
Yep. November 10th, Russell Westbrook's Battle Basketball. This is Nathan. He was asked, like, have you ever dreamt a game that didn't exist? And he's like, oh, thank God you asked this question. Yes, I have multiple.
And that was good because we were like, no, and he was like breaking out his journal.
He literally says, I've been waiting for this question or whatever, because he had like
Amazing.
3 examples, and we each took
Definitely
one.
did.
No,
it was perfect.
Okay, I'll read the context. I just want to revisit that for a second. My favorite one of his dreams was something where you play a baby, or no, you play a character that has a kid, and that kid like takes on your traits like an RPG or something as they grow. Right. It's just like, that's just a good idea, honestly. Okay, Russell Westbrook's Battle Basketball question came up that exists in the host dreams. This one was one of Nathan's. You can guess what it was about. Oh, he actually wrote these. Alongside a blockchain exclusive Meat Boy game tied to TikTok, and a Death Stranding clone where you play as the baby in the later half.
That was a good question episode, yeah.
That was the... Sometimes you have the right person at the right moment for something, and that was one of those. Okay, and the last one, 17th of November. Oh, I'll give you a song from the game. Boom. That's I remember this context. This was audio design. Couldn't remember a song from Elden Ring. It's like, oh, I'll tell you, it's boom.
Song from Elden Ring, because we were talking about best music.
Yeah, it was last week, so I remember this quite easily.
Okay.
There's an alternative title. There's the squirt emoji right after that. It's part of the title. This was a Steam game that was like Sex Simulator or something.
Right, yeah.
Oh, right, the top 10 list.
With the squirt emoji. And I just read the context, and yes, those were exactly it. So thank you for writing in.
Thank you, yes. All right, first question here from Suku. Suku writes, with the wild success of Arcane and Cyberpunk Edge Runners, there's surely more to follow. If you could choose, what game series would you revitalize with a straight-to-Netflix anime set in that universe, and what studio if you're familiar enough with them?
Oh, okay.
Paul, did you watch all of Edge Runners?
I did. That thing is definitely the Arcane for this year. It's phenomenal. It's so good.
It's very cool, right? Like,
it's very good.
It's very enjoyable.
It made me actually, I didn't talk about it. I reinstalled Cyberpunk to finish off the broken quests that I couldn't finish when that game originally came out, and just be in that world again.
They recently put out like a quest line that connects to Edge Runners.
They did, so I did that as well. It literally just plays you the like first 5 minutes of the first episode. You know, the like thing that he's watching at the beginning. It plays that.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
There's no way I'm going to be able to pick a studio. But there was a Devil May Cry anime, wasn't there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that seems like too obvious. Prince of Persia would be cool. I would go for a Prince of Persia anime, and they could do some cool like.
I almost feel like that's cheating because that got a movie.
Did get a movie, yeah. I think an anime would be cool with all the time travel kind of stuff. They could do some cool stuff.
Yep. I would love a Silent Hill like anime done like a Junji Ito thing, just weird, fucked up shit, sad protagonists. I'm into that.
That might just be the current game that's coming out, F or whatever it is.
It might be, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Sure. What about you, John? Anything come to mind?
Trying to think because everything I'm coming up with in my mind already kind of had something like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
it'd be great. Would be like a Street Fighter one. I'm like, no, Street Fighter's had multiple movies and multiple like shows and cartoons. That I think that's not gonna work. Same with Mega
Legend
Man.
of Chun-Li. I saw that movie.
Oh, there you go. Everyone's favorite.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw that one too.
God damn it! Everything I'm looking at, I'm like, oh yeah, like Hitman would be great. Wait, that had 2 movies.
Yep.
Dot hack multiple cartoons.
I
God
mean, it's
hate
okay.
because that's just the safe answer.
I think it's okay if they have a movie because the anime might be good. Like the Hitman movies are bad.
I like the first one still, even though it's like not great.
Well, maybe the anime's great.
You never
Yeah.
know.
Assassin's Creed get an anime?
It got a movie.
Oh, it got a movie, which I still haven't seen, but I want to see. And they're like working on a show, aren't they, with Netflix?
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like that would be good as a show, considering like you can basically do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been my go-to answer if it hadn't been for like the movie thing. Yakuza had a movie. I think it had 2. Final Fantasy. No, I've
Yep. They've never done anything in the Final Fantasy
never done
universe.
anything with that. No, I'm literally just looking at my wall and I'm like, I'm blanking, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of games now. Shovel Knight.
That would actually be kind of sick.
Shovel Knight would be neat.
Yeah.
There's all the villains. That would be pretty cool. Each
I'd be
episode
into
is
it.
like a new castle or whatever.
It would be what the Mega Man cartoon wanted to be.
There you go.
Man, what if they just remade the Mega Man cartoon but with Shovel Knight characters?
That would be. I would watch the hell out of that. Like he's still got to guard that Abraham Lincoln statue and everything. Like
Only
it's
now
just
it's
literally
like-
the exact same.
Now it's like Biden or Biden statue or something. Just make like it's the exact same idea, just more relevant to today or something.
It was funny. This is such a weird tangent. So I was in India, and people would constantly ask me like what country I'm from and stuff, and I would just say like, I'm from America, and they'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, and a few of them were just like, yeah, Obama, and I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, Obama, and then one of them just he just leans in and he goes, I don't like Bush.
I like Bush or don't like Bush.
He doesn't like Bush. He says he just whispers it to me, and I was like, fair enough, yeah, okay.
That's pretty good.
But I just love it. But he leans in and he whispers it to me like it's a secret or something, or he's ashamed to say it.
Don't tell anyone.
It was so weird.
All right, next one's mine. Is it
yeah.
mine? Yeah, because he did titles. Pentiment just writes in and says, ahoy, TDP crew. Would you rather have an ice sculpture or a chocolate sculpture of your own head that never melts? It cannot be consumed. It must stay as a decoration.
Oh, ice. Ice looks way cooler. Literally.
Ice looks cooler, and it literally would give off like cold. So if you just needed to like cool off, you could just like keep it near you. And if it's not dripping and melting, then like it's just
Totally.
it's dry ice. It's just dry ice that doesn't hurt you.
Yeah, I'm into it.
I feel like detail-wise, you could get more from the chocolate, though.
Yeah, I think so.
The ice, when you can kind of see through it a bit, you kind of lose what it could be. But I still think the ice would look cooler.
Yeah.
I think the problem with chocolate is that you would smell chocolate all the time, but you're not allowed to eat it, I assume, is the catch. So that just means you're smelling chocolate and can't do anything about it, which would drive me insane.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true. I would also don't want like a constant smell at all times.
Yeah, that too.
Doesn't matter how good it is. Like at some point, I need a break from smelling whatever it is.
Yeah. Linebacker writes, when does backseat modding become too much and you have to step in and say, no, don't do that?
Definitely if something's offensive.
We've had a bunch of situations where like people in our community would just dogpile on people when it's like the mods were already dealing with it. So I'd say that. When it's already being dealt with and people are jumping on them trying to do it, that's when it's
Oh, you're thinking modding is like moderating. I thought modding is in like mod a game.
Well, yeah, I can't. What is backseat modding in the sense of like a game mod? Yeah, I don't think that exists.
I guess I interpreted that as like like I don't know, some kind of like negative modification to the game. I guess it doesn't make quite as much sense now that I'm like wording it out. So yeah, okay. That gets rid of the reason to bring up this anecdote, but I'm going to bring up this anecdote anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just learned about this. I think it was Dwarf Fortress. There used to be some scenario, and this isn't exactly a mod, but it came to mind when I read this question, where people would farm mermaids by like making like a mermaid farm and then basically suffocating them immediately to then sell, like, because the skeletons of mermaids were like really
Sure.
you could sell them, so they were just like churning out mermaids, immediately killing them and then selling off their skeletons. And the creator was like, no, I am not letting you do that, and he just drove the price of the mermaid skeletons to like the 0, and he's like, stop doing this is gross.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's kind of like annoying seeing anybody just be like if you're not a mod, like mind your own business, maybe. That's what I feel personally. But yeah.
I think I'm with you on there. It's like these people are mods for a reason. They don't need more voices. You know what I mean? Like, just let them do their thing. I think I agree with that. GC Kenny writes, if you could invite 5 video game characters to a Thanksgiving potluck, which 5 would you invite and what food would they bring?
Ooh. Okay. I want the Burger Time chef because he's going to get that shit out to us lickety split.
I was going to say like the chef from Kirby, because I was thinking in my head.
Okay. Yeah.
Thinking in my head, you don't want to invite Kirby because he'll eat everything.
No, that's right. Don't do that.
See,
I don't like Thanksgiving, so I'm just like, man, I don't know if I would care enough.
I'm with you. Like, I don't want to be a bummer about it, but like, I don't like turkey, and I don't give a fuck about Thanksgiving generally. So
I get it. I feel like it's a very Canadian thing because people down here are way into it, and I'm always just like, I don't know, whatever. Like, it wasn't really a thing growing up. You can just make this like a party or a potluck meal. It doesn't have to be Thanksgiving.
For sure. Yeah. Not to shit.
I feel like you want to bring someone that would have like good stories or be enjoyable to talk about. Nathan Drake would probably be cool to have at a potluck.
Yeah, and he's just like a normal dude that probably eats a normal amount of food, which is good.
Yeah. And like, what would Nathan Drake bring? Ribs.
Yeah, I could see him having a ribs recipe.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably going to be more boring characters because no one's going to be like Master Chief. I want him at my table, and he's going to bring, I don't know, a warthog steak. What, I can't think of the picture from Mass Effect.
I kind of want that now, though.
That's pretty good, actually. Yeah.
What was I gonna say? See, you could technically say like Gordon Ramsay because he's got a Hell's Kitchen video game, so I would definitely want Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna just let him make whatever he wants, man.
What food would they bring? Whatever he wants, man. Who gives a shit? It's Gordon Ramsay.
I ain't stopping Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, exactly.
Professor Layton, and he's gonna bring a bunch of tea.
He would definitely bring desserts. He would bring like coffee biscuits and stuff like that, or like tea.
Yeah, he's gonna have one of those like briefcases, but when you put it on the table and you open up, it's like a whole picnic.
Like a bunch of macaroons.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of not boring characters that also wouldn't like.
I try to remember the name of the chef character from Final Fantasy 15. It's not Prompto, I don't think.
I didn't play 15.
It's been
but like the guy who's like, I've discovered a new recipe. That guy, he would make things all the time.
But now that we're thinking of Final Fantasy characters, I bet Waka would be a fun time.
Sure.
Waka would be the kind of guy who would literally just bring like a turkey and deep fried at the house.
Yeah, deep fried chocobo or something.
Definitely think he would be the one that's like, I will happily. He'll volunteer to grill the burgers. He wants to be on the barbecue the whole time because he knows how to make a good burger. Yeah, and it's like, okay, man, go. Yeah.
Ignis. Yeah, Ignis is the chef apparently. So
Okay.
Ignis would be the one.
All right, John, you want to read this next question?
All right, I was still trying to think of ones. All right, next one. Rasterman7 says, "Do you think there's a chance that with enough refunds to the new Pokemon game, the next mainline one will have a chance in have a change in management policy? If so, how high, either in number or percentage, does it have to be? It has to be like 90%.
I was going to say no, and it would have to be over 80%.
From what I have heard, the part of Pokemon that brings in the least amount of money is the video game division. So the answer is going to be 90%.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that too. You say that though, like this one sold like 10 million copies. It's even though they're the smallest, it's still a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
It's still a shit ton of money, and it has set a record, but at the same time, it's just like I guess yeah. I think now they have to realize like okay, I think if anything, in reality, the sales, but also the reception and the fact that they're offering refunds in the first place is probably going to make them think like okay, we've got to do something for the next game because clearly we're burning out our people here. But I don't know if it's going to be a major change like it needs. So I think the discussion is happening internally now, but I just don't know if it's going to happen to the level that the series truly needs.
I don't think it's well, because I feel like you could say that to like every Pokemon. Like they've been so iterative over the years, like so they barely change anything to the point like to a fault.
Sure.
So the fact that they would just fix everything almost seems ridiculous. And they're going to look at the numbers and they're going to see we made so much money on this. From a number standpoint, they don't have to do anything. And I'm sure they know that. And so I feel like it comes down to pride.
Yeah.
Pride or the developer, like Game Freak, like leaving. Like if there's like an exodus of people from Game Freak because of just how the game got shoved out the door, then I could see that happening more so than just a ton of refunds.
Yeah, well, I don't even think there will be a ton of refunds. Like, keep in mind, out of the 10 million copies sold, probably 80% of them are like under the age of 15, I would guess.
Yeah.
So, like they're probably happy enough. They don't even care. They probably don't even realize it's running bad. They don't even notice it at this point.
No, I bet the devs absolutely are aware of it, but I'm sure like the Pokemon Company International or whatever it is that like dictates the release is not as worried about it.
Yeah, well, I'm like if you get down to the ground floor with the developers, I'm sure there are plenty of developers. They obviously knew it was going to be like this, and as an artist, as like a creator, I'm sure they feel bad when you get up to the higher management and whatnot, and like the face of the company. Then I think it comes down to like, do they want to fix this as a point of pride, or do they want to just be like, let's just keep printing money like we do every 2 years? Who cares? These people will literally eat anything we vomit out.
Yeah.
Do you think they're too big to fail at this point?
Absolutely.
Yeah. They probably have been for a long time.
Let me ask you this. If Game Freak literally shit in a box and called it the next Pokemon,
yeah,
you think they would sell more than 1 million copies before someone actually like did something about it?
Oh,
Bet
God,
they would
I
sell
hated
1
the
million
answers.
copies.
I hated the answers. You're right. I absolutely hate that the answer is you're right.
Yeah. As long as they call it the new Pokemon, because they have tried other games that like nobody bought in between.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if they called it like, Pokemon, I don't even know what the next thing would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Which is a bummer because like they made a big change with Legends that really felt like, hey, we are doing something. They like aged up the characters a bit. It seemed like a more mature thing.
Yeah.
And then they kind of just like went back to the old drawing board. Like, oh, now you're gonna be another 10-year-old kid. Here we go. Same thing as before, but open world. So it's kind of weird to see them like do the cool pivot and then just like go back.
Yeah. So knowing what I know now, maybe I should just buy that other game and play that.
You might like Arceus, yeah.
Yeah,
Shit,
I
played
might like it quite a bit, yeah.
My worry is because like it'll feel a bit like a scaled back one at this point because there is less to do in it.
Auto battle is so good too. So that would be hard to not have.
I mean, you can battle and stuff, but it's just there is more to do in Violet. But it's just a performance thing. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know how exactly you might feel with that. And the bummer is Legends will not be cheap. Like
Right.
you're not going to be able to like get it on a great discount. You might save $20.
Yeah.
I think you're kind of in a boat of you just need to like cross your fingers and pray for a patch.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope it comes soon too.
I mean, let's be real. There's going to be a patch. It'd be
Yeah.
insane if there wasn't.
Totally. Yep.
And I would have also said the same thing about them not making Animal Crossing a live service game, but they've stopped doing that.
Touche.
And they don't even support Mario Maker 2. Like, they make the most boneheaded decisions.
Yeah. Rip Mario Maker.
Is it Paul or me?
It's me. Final question comes from Linebeck. What do you think a Pokemon game with the Shadows of Mordor Nemesis mechanic would be like?
It would have
It
to be
could work.
like for that to work. I feel like it would have to be a bunch of like the gangs they've had over the years, like Rocket, Magma, Star, etc., all competing in like this new area, and you have to like dictate which gangs you're taking out. But by taking out one gang, the other gangs who use like specific element of Pokemon are rising up. So you have to be careful. Like, oh no, if I don't take out the one that is like strong against my current team, I might have issues down the road. So I think it'd be interesting to do it like that. That you're just like affecting the flow and the strength of other gangs in the region.
It would be cool if you could then, like, and dynamically, like, you choose, you could ally with other, like, clans. Like, hey, my team is not good against fire. I know we're enemies. Enemy of my enemy is my friend. Maybe we can team up. Take out the fire guy. Be cool.
Or what if you played as one of the gym leaders or something? Nemesis mechanic is the trainers you keep stomping.
The
coming
trainers.
Back. Yeah.
Like 20 hours into the game, the Elite Fours come down and like, man, we haven't had anyone come to us in 8 months because everyone has 7 badges. Like, no one can beat you. Like, dude, there's a reason you're the like